Oh, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Studio W, the Buzz, your global radio network. Hey, sorry for the delay. We have a major storm going out here on the East Coast, and so not powerful, guys, so I apologize for that. But anyway, welcome to the Boomerang Radio Show, coming to you each and every Sunday, 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. on the East. I see my two panelists there, or two of my panelists rather, and Taylor. Hey, Ann.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But yeah,
Are
like
you
I said, I was telling
safe?
you earlier. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's kind
Okay.
of crazy out here. We, Matter of fact, we've had several thunderstorms in the last couple of weeks. Several.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like three or four major
Mm-hmm.
storms, and it's all up and down the East Coast. So I hope you. How is it out there in Arkansas?
Nice and sunny. Yesterday it rained a little on one side of the house with the sun out. And the other side of the house was mostly dry. So yeah, we've been getting those weird summer storms that come through where it's
Right.
partly rainy, partly sunny.
Yeah. Well, we don't get partly out here. Your whole house or the whole block is going to be rained out if that happens. Yeah. And I see Mad Mike, I see his logo up there. I mean, hey, Mike.
I'm dealing with
Okay.
some terrible storms out here in Southern California too. It's just
Hey,
been horrid
Mike.
all day. There's
Are you
it's
serious?
just been
Oh
it's been
my
terrible. Look how
gosh.
terrible it is outside.
Yeah, I can see it. You know,
Yeah.
flooding in everything. Yeah, yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
It's horrible here in
Oh, boy.
Southern
Missed you on
California.
Thursday. Yeah, I can tell.
Ah,
Yeah, missed
yeah,
you
yeah.
Thursday, man.
How was
It was a great show. It was a great
horrible
show.
Howard?
Hostile Howard.
Hostile Howard.
Horrible.
How was he?
Horrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got to
Oh,
bail
yeah.
on you once a month, but it's only for 9 months out of the year, and it's for a good cause, and it's a great time I have on that Thursday night. Whether I'm with you, I have a great time, or if I'm not with you, I still have a great time. So
Aw.
Well, Howard, he has the nerve to come on the show and talking about it's my station, but it's his show. I said, okay, all right. I started.
well, you know,
I started.
he's got a point there, you know.
Well, ain't that something?
Really? I can't believe this. And
Well,
I feel I feel a mutiny. You know,
really?
I feel a mutiny coming on here. Yeah, but it ain't gonna happen. It's not going to happen. Anyway,
Well, I'm
guys.
thinking, is he in the studio with you, or is he just like us, broadcasting from somewhere like Texas or something?
Well, yeah, he was in Texas, but I could still kick him out of the studio. You know, I tried muting. I tried muting his mic, and
Did you?
he unmuted it just like Mike. Yeah, yeah, I muted his mic, and Mike just like Mike, he unmuted it. I got something for him the next time, though. I have something
That's
for him. Okay.
hilarious.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. Oh, your show yesterday, it was an outstanding show you had yesterday.
Oh, I'm
You
glad
had a
you
recording,
enjoyed it.
gospel recording artist on, Lady E, Mary Evans.
Yes, yes, yes. She's a friend of the lady songbird Jenda Harris. So she recommended her to the show. And she was awesome.
Right,
That Blessed Beyond Measure, that's my new jam. I really love that song. It's beautiful.
right. Mike, you haven't heard of her before, but she's also, I think she's beginning to record some R&B songs and Southern Soul.
Wow.
So we'll have her on and especially play some of her music as well. No, Gender,
Yeah.
the latest songbird Gender, her and Howard, I hope Howard isn't listening, but they are absolutely amazing people. Uh, I hope Gender's
I
listening, but
hope he
Howard's
is
no.
listening.
But no,
That'll
they
make for
are,
some really interesting
and
feedback if he is.
oh yeah,
Oh,
oh
look, he
yeah,
just popped up on
he'll
the
come
chat.
on.
He sent you hearts in the chat room.
Did he?
Oh, I'm sure he
Uh-uh.
did. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Funny.
oh, but no, they
Funny.
are amazing people, and you know how. And the latest songbird, she has arisen to such acclaim, fame, and stuff like that. But they are down to earth, humble people, and A lot of artists out here, they don't react that way. Once they get a touch of fame, their nose goes up in the air, and they don't know you, but they still
What?
support their down to earth people, and that's one thing I really love about them. Love about
Right,
them.
right.
Also, with Bruce J, the entertainer, Mike knows him well too. Bruce J, great guy, and he's also a fan of the station, not only
Awesome.
the music programs but our talk shows as well. But as a matter, I think he tuned in yesterday. Tylaric was another
Mm,
gentleman that tuned in. He's a recording artist. Mike, have we had? We
wow.
haven't had him on, I don't think, but we've played his music, and so I just
You
love it,
know what?
man.
I think he popped in one Thursday. I think he popped in and out. He just to say hi real quick, as I recall.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
That does sound familiar. That does sound familiar. Well, anyway, guys, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Last couple of weeks, we talked about a lot of great things, and we got away from politics for a while. But it tends to uh, rear its ugly head every now and then. And there's some
Mm,
things in the news that we really need to talk about. As a matter of fact, I've had some of our listeners ask me about this particular topic, and that is dun, dun, dun,
did they?
dun, the Epstein. Oh yeah, the Epstein files. Oh yeah, they asked me about it. And, that is, oh
That's
boy,
funny.
I think that's grown beyond what anybody really imagined that it would. I believe, and I think, and this is another uh, bad thing that's of his own making, really, because
Right,
he talked about
right.
it. He's going to release the files and this and that and the other, and now he's talking about having Obama arrested for treason. I mean, it's just crazy. And as
Yeah,
an attorney and a judge, you see straight through the BS in most cases, where you ask someone a question and they will answer a different question, trying to
right.
deflect. And also, that's the name of the game right now: deflect, deflect, deflect. First, the
Mhm.
files will be released. Pam Bondi, the what is she? The Attorney General. She
Right.
said she was going to release them a couple of months ago. They were on her desk for review. Then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
they weren't there anymore. Then the
Right.
story changed again. Then the story changed again. Yeah, Mike had lost Mike for a while. Then the story
Yep.
changed again. It's back and forth, back and forth. And I think these guys are bringing more attention to themselves. And Mike, you as a former investigator, when somebody gives you two or three answers uh, and try to deflect from the same question, your eyebrows will raise. Wait a minute,
Mm,
hold it. Uh,
mm.
are you lying now, or were you lying
Were you
then,
down
or
then?
what's going on?
Mhm. Right.
Everything can't be true all at the same time. It cannot be, and I think that the American public is not fooled anymore. But before I get into that, the question was asked to us last year: are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Mm,
And earlier during this year, everybody said, "Oh yeah, we're better off. We're better off." Really? Uh, I looked at Moody's. They lowered the United States borrowing rate, credit rating, for the first time in history. And it's
mm,
because of the economy, this flailing economy that we're having right now. GM, Ford, Chrysler, and there's so many auto manufacturers that's lost billions this last quarter. I think Jeep lost about 2.7 billion. GM lost, I believe it was 1.06 billion dollars in one
mm.
quarter alone, and it says all
Wow.
because of these tariffs. And I think
Wow.
that we also need to look at what's going on with Japan. He still has sanctions on Japan, and I think that's a tricky game to play.
You
I'm
mean
gonna tell you
tariffs
why.
on Japan? You mean tariffs?
Yes,
Okay, I thought you
tariffs on
said
Japan. I mean,
you said
Sanctions.
yeah, you said sanctions. I just want to be I'm like, when do we
no,
sanction
no, no,
Japan?
I'm
But
sorry.
okay. Okay.
They might be, but for
Look,
sure,
look, you never
tariffs
know.
on
You
Japan.
never know.
We sanctioned them back in 1945, as I recall.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do, but we're sanctioned, but we're tariffing him. Is it tariffing? Is that a word? Well, it is now. But anyway, we have tariffs on Japan. Now we really need to be careful about Japan, because they own about 1.3 trillion dollars in U.S.
Uh,
Treasuries, folks. That's the bond
wow.
market. You don't want to mess with the bond market. And a lot of because the United States, we borrow a lot of money, folks. And so
Yeah.
with the lowering of our interest rate, it means it costs more for us to borrow. Okay.
Mhm.
Walmart, in some cases, some of their prices have gone up 50%. Amazon, the prices have gone up and up. And so any of you guys think that this cat is smart, you might want to see somebody,
Mm,
like a doctor. All right.
mm, mm,
But before we get into that, there's something that's disturbing that's happening around here in this country right now. More and more, it's looking like a Gestapo state.
mm.
And this is what I mean by that. You have ICE agents that's snatching people off the street, and it's been reported that they are snatching up U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
There was a doctor that was here from Iran, and I think he is on a visa. But
Mm,
anyway, he was taking his young daughter to preschool,
mhm,
okay, to kindergarten, and they stopped him. They
mm,
allowed him to take her to school. It was only like a few blocks away. But then right after that, they arrested him.
mm.
And he's a doctor. Okay.
Right.
Folks,
Not a criminal, a
snatching up U.S.
doctor.
citizens.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
U.S. citizens
what am I
being
missing here?
arrested.
Was he here legally or illegally?
Legally.
He's here
He
legally.
was here legally.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was he came
But,
legally, and I think he was in the process of becoming a naturalized citizen.
Okay.
So
mhm.
he was going through the process. I think he had like a court hearing coming up or something like that. So yeah, he came over
Right.
legally.
And see, this is right. See, this is the problem because these people who are here legally that's trying to get their citizenship, they are showing up to the immigration hearings, and ICE is snatching them from going to the hearings. Now, that is the legal process. That's the way to go.
Mhm,
Okay. They get MS-13 is not going to the immigration hearings. I promise you that. Okay. These gangs out here and criminals aren't going to immigration hearings. You can believe that. So
mhm,
the system is you go through the process, you go to court, you go to your immigration hearings or scheduled hearings,
mhm.
and go through the process. But see, what's happening, these people are snatching them right out of the court buildings. That makes absolutely no sense at all. It is
Well, it's even
absolutely,
worse than
that's
that.
imperialism.
They're getting the judges to dismiss the cases. So they're not even getting to have their cases heard. And then once it's dismissed and the people leave, they're taking them.
They're
As a
taking
matter
them.
of yeah, they're taking them into custody. As a matter of fact, the Teens Talk Truth um, social media pages, I've been revamping them, and there was one post that we did that got over 25,000 views. That was about a teenage boy
Uh,
being taken by ICE into custody, and he secretly recorded them doing it. It was one of the Guardian. I don't know if y'all heard of that publication, but they published the story.
mhm.
A cute
All
kid,
right.
cute high school kid. But I think he said he was telling them he was born here, and they said, no, you're amigo. So it's, a play on the word amigo. It's like, why? Why
Right,
would
right,
we
right. And see,
look for a kid who hadn't
yeah,
done anything wrong, who is a citizen, who was born here, and to harass and ultimately at least attempt to deport. I don't know if he's still in the country at this point or not, but still, these are kids. Why are we bullying
yeah.
children who haven't done anything?
And yeah, and as a matter of fact, if correct me if I'm wrong, and but the Constitution uh, is birthright citizenship is a right here in this
Constitutional
country.
right.
It,
Right.
it's
Right.
constitutional right. If you're born here, come on,
Mhm.
birthright citizenship. Okay, well then, if that's the case, if this is the game you want to play, then there are a couple of people in that's in the administration that needs to be deported too.
Well,
And I'm talking
Elon
about
can
that's really
definitely
quick.
go. Melania and her family
Uh-huh.
can go.
They can
As a
go
matter,
to.
yeah, a matter of fact, all of Trump's kids can go because they've got a parent
That's
who.
exactly right.
I think he only married
If,
women
if,
who
if that's the
weren't
game we're going to
U.S.
play, if that's
Right,
the game we're
all of
going to
them
play,
can
okay.
leave. We welcome that. Bye bye. Take your daddy with
The hypocrisy, the
Yeah.
hypocrisy,
Yeah.
it burns my feet. Okay,
Right.
I'm using the word
Right.
feet right now because this is a family program. All right? I'm
Mhm.
serious right about that
You can say
because this
took
is
us.
absolutely nuts.
Mhm.
No,
You can
I'm
say
gonna just
took
stick with
us.
feet. I'm gonna stick with feet. Okay, I'm gonna keep it clean right here. But no, it is absolutely the hypocrisy. And like I said, and before, and then you're going to ship out everybody that's black or brown that wasn't born here or that's trying to go through the process. Yet you're gonna let the white South Africans in, and you're
Right.
going to
Talking about they
expedite
racist.
their being. Yeah,
The last
you
thing we
got
need
black.
are more racists. We got enough of those.
Come on, man. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So, but anyway, before we get into that, and I tell you how dangerous it's getting, uh, is that when you start, let's see what I want. I want this one right here. Let's do this. Okay, no, I don't want that. But when you start deporting, when you start locking up also politicians, this is crazy.
You can
This is
lock them
absolutely
all
nuts.
up, as
Let's see.
far as I'm concerned. Take them all and lock them up. Every single one of them.
Well, you have some out here that really don't. You have.
Saturday morning in an exclusive interview just hours after Isaiah was released from Texas
Can you guys hear this?
jail custody.
Yes.
Isaiah, I want to
Okay.
talk about why you were in custody in the first place, but how are you this morning?
Well, first off, Aaron, thanks for having me. I feel a lot of different emotions, but, my resolve to fight for the people of our state can never be stronger. Ultimately, what happened was a bunch of Republicans were very concerned about the fact that I went up and spoke my mind, about the fact that they're destroying the economy, destroying the state. And, look, spent a lot of time in jail, I guess 30 hours per se, but I just couldn't be more thankful for the millions of people that have spoke out about this, people across our state, people in our district, and ready to continue that fight because that's exactly what we need right now.
I want to talk about how jail was for those 30 hours that you were in jail, but I want to start by kind of setting the scene here a little bit for folks. So for those who don't know, what is happening in Texas right now and what landed you in custody?
I never post stuff like this, but I had to share. I cook almost every day. So we've gone through our fair share of cutting
I'd like
boards.
to share too.
For years, we used plastic until I read about microplastics ending up in your food. One study even linked them to cancer. So we switched to wood, thinking it was safer. Until one morning, my husband took a bite of toast and said it tasted like raw chicken. Minutes later, he had stomach pain, a fever, and started throwing up. I rushed him to the hospital. The diagnosis, salmonella from the bread.
Skip,
We
William.
right
Hit
away
that
it had
skip
to be the
button.
cutting board. When I got home, I checked it. It looked clean, but deep in the
Wow.
grooves, there were bits of old food. I smelled it and nearly gagged. That same raw chicken smell. I always clean.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, let me give you the backstory here. This gentleman is running for Congress,
Mhm.
and I believe that he's a local official. And so he went to, and there's a plan that Trump and Greg Abbott launched to steal 5 congressional seats out of Congress by gerrymandering. I don't know why the United States Supreme Court don't get in there and say gerrymandering is wrong, because that's voter fraud if you think about it.
The same thing that Newsom's trying to do here in California, the opposite direction. Is that what?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you why Newsom should do it, because Newsom said, "Look, if they're gonna play dirty,
So
we're
one
gonna
side can do it, but the other side can't.
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds really
absolutely,
fair.
absolutely. Well, let me finish. I'm gonna tell you why. Newsom wouldn't do it if Texas, Ohio, Michigan, and Florida aren't doing it. They've been doing this for years, Mike. They've been doing it for years. So, yep, if you slap me, I'm going to slap you. Okay, that's the way it is. Just like
So
I
that
love
makes
Michelle
it okay.
Obama.
All right.
Mike, let me finish. I love
Well, you
Michelle
never give
Obama,
other
but
people a chance to speak,
Mike,
so I got to jump in when I have to.
No, you don't, Mike. I'm going to give you a
You're
chance to
saying
speak.
things that are inaccurate, William, and if you won't give me a chance to
Mike,
say something, then I've got to
Michael,
interrupt
hey,
you.
Mike.
I'm sorry,
Mike, I'm going to let you
William.
speak.
William.
Don't do this. I'm telling you, don't do it. I'm going to let you speak, but respect respect me.
I'm trying,
By
but you're saying things that are
but you are not
inaccurate.
respecting me by talking over me, Mike. Come on. Now I thought we've already gone through this. Everybody on this panel will get a chance to speak. Say whatever you want to say, but don't interrupt me while I'm talking. Okay?
Can I make a very quick point here?
No. Stop. Let me finish what I have to say. I've said I'm going to give you a chance to speak.
When?
But you're not going to bully. You're not going to bully me, Mike. Come on.
I'm not bullying you. I'm asking you for a chance to rebut what you're saying.
Would you please be quiet and let me finish? Okay? Then you'll get your chance next. How about that? So what I'm saying is the Republicans have been doing this for years, gerrymandering. And so Newsom said, well, shucks, if this is what they're going to play, we're going to have to even the playing field. We're going to have to do the same thing. I don't like gerrymandering at all. But what I'm saying is, if you are starting a war with me, or if you are doing this to me, I'm not going to just sit back and let you do it. Republicans have been doing this for years, okay? They tried to steal the election. They're trying to steal the 2026 midterm elections. Neither one is right. But what I'm saying is if you're going to do it, then yeah, I think that I should have a chance to do it. So the point that this gentleman, he went to this hearing, okay, this press conference, and he wanted to talk and tell how wrong gerrymandering is, okay? And so what they do, they arrested him. And so if you notice, they're only arresting the Democratic politicians. They're only doing that, okay, for speaking, for using their First Amendment right, okay? So what I'm saying is, now you saw it happen in New Jersey. You see it happening all over the place, okay? They're threatening, intimidating. And so what they have in this administration, what they're doing right now, they are governing using intimidation and fear. Now, Mike, what do you have to say?
What I would like to say very respectfully to everyone here on this panel is, William, you will cover 12 or 15 topics, and then you go, okay, what do you have to say, Mike? And you've already covered 12 or 15 topics. I can't keep up.
No, it's the same topic. It's the same topic.
Okay, you asked a question earlier. Okay, now you're interrupting me. You asked us earlier.
Yes, I am.
You asked us earlier
because you're wrong.
Are we better off? Are we better off today than we were in the last 4 years ago? You never gave us a chance to say a word. You talked about ICE and the stories about them snatching people off the street. You never gave me a chance to say a word. You asked about people being politicians that are dirty on the Republican side, but you never gave me a chance to rebut any of that. You will cover topic after topic after topic after topic, and then you go, okay, Mike, 30 minutes later, what do you got to say? And that's not fair. And that's why I interrupt you. I'm not interrupting you to be rude. I'm interrupting you because you cover so many topics and you're doing a monologue. And then when you feel like it, you say, okay, Mike, what do you think? And that's not fair. Cover one thing at a time and give Ann and myself and if CC's here, give us a chance to rebut. But you cover 15 things and then you go, okay, what do you think?
Mike, have you ever seen a monologue before in the beginning of a news show?
I just watched you do two of them.
The host goes over several topics, then we go to one. Now you can address any one of those or all of those if you want to. You have the floor now.
I got nothing to say because I'm not going to cover 15 topics all at once.
Well, cover one. We can go, like I
said,
I'll
cover the question that you asked 15 minutes ago. Am I better off today than I was 4 years ago? You're damn right, Ann. I'm paying less at the gas station. I'm paying less at the grocery store. My life is better financially than it's ever been. And even in the market, which you're very well aware of, I'm still in good shape. And I think the tariffs, you talked about tariffs, never gave me a chance to say anything about tariffs. I think the tariffs are a good thing because, I'm taking that time. We're better off with him doing tariffs because what it's going to do is it's going to level the playing field, which has been very unfair to the U.S. for decades. decades, the other nations
How?
have been taking advantage of the kindness of the United States by tariffing the hell out of us, while we just sit by and go, okay, that's fine. And then they rack up all this money that we owe them because of their tariffs they placed on us. Now what Trump's trying to do is level the playing field.
And you're wrong. And let me tell you where you're wrong. Tariffs, no, we had free trade, and we had a trilateral agreement between Mexico, okay, and Canada. And as far as these other countries, hold on, I thought you had
I'm trying to have a dialogue with you rather than a monologue. I'm trying to have a discussion. Like when we talk on the phone, that's the way I'd like to talk. Like we talk on the phone, we go back and forth instead of you talk for 30 minutes and then maybe I get a chance.
No, you got a chance. Now you covered two things, and let me tell you where you're wrong about tariffs, because the United States, the countries that we import from do not pay the tariffs. We pay the tariffs. That's why GM. I opened up and I told you GM lost over $1 billion. Chrysler lost $2.7 billion in 1 quarter. And you trying to tell me that the tariffs are a good thing when we have to pay the tariffs? That's a tax on the United States citizens. That's where you are dead wrong about that.
Can I tell you why?
You got the microphone.
Okay, good. The tariffs are bad because what has happened, and if you look back a couple of decades ago, how many manufacturers moved overseas because it was cheaper to do it overseas than it was to do it here in America, and we let them do it. And so what happened? Look at what happened in the automotive industry. You forgot about that?
I just told you it. Well, guess what? I thought it was a mistake to do that. I haven't forgotten about anything. All I'm saying is tariffs are bad.
Other nations have taken advantage of us. William, other nations have taken advantage of the United States.
I'm not going to listen to
and the lefties, the loony lefties, let them do it. And now what Trump is trying to do, he's trying to bring jobs and industry back to the United States, where it belongs. Other nations should not be taking advantage of the United States. Period.
How are they taking advantage of us, Mike? By not buying. Look here.
They took all our jobs.
One of the largest countries.
They've taken our jobs for decades. You asked a question, I'm answering it. They've been taking our jobs for decades.
We sent the jobs there. We sent the manufacturers there.
Oh yeah, the U.S. is so magnificent. We just send jobs overseas.
We did. How did they get there, Mike? Because it was so high to manufacture here that the companies left the United States. And the United States started outsourcing everything. All right. Even telemarketing.
Was that a good thing?
Okay. In India and places of that nature, Mike, we did it to ourselves. But as far as people aren't taking advantage of us, because guess what? The United States have what? Over 300 and some odd million people in this United States, right? And are you trying to say that a country like Canada, who only has 46 million people, they're supposed to buy the same amount from us as we buy from them? Are you serious right now? That makes no sense.
I am serious that other countries have taken advantage of the kindness.
They have not taken advantage of anybody.
And we should not stand by and let it occur. Right? We should level the playing field. No. And then all of a sudden, when things go sour, you want to put it on the Democrats, which is false. I put it on both of them. See, that's the difference between you and I. You pick one side. I pick on both sides. You pick on one side. I pick on both sides because they're both responsible. Both sides are responsible, William. Both sides.
Nope. Yep. Both sides are not trying to take your health care, are not trying to kick people out of nursing homes, or starving children. Both sides are not doing that. They're not giving the tax break. No, they're not. They're not giving the tax breaks to
politicians.
The
don't
rich
give a damn
and stealing
about
from
us.
the poor. It's not both sides.
Don't give a damn about
no, Mike. No, I don't care about that. I'm gonna go to Ann right now. Let's talk to somebody that got some sense.
Good evening,
Sorry.
gentlemen.
Sorry.
I'm going to use my soft, slow,
do that.
calming voice.
Maybe you can help him out.
To dial down the temperature. First of all, after the Great Depression, World War II, all that type of stuff, countries got together and came up with the free trade agreement, which has been pretty beneficial for most people, for most countries, for consumers and producers especially. Um, I don't think it's necessarily taking advantage of the United States of America. I do think that we have basically enjoyed better prices, and we've enjoyed better trade relationships with other countries as a result. Now, that being said, I think what William said we were going to talk about tonight were the Epstein files. My personal opinion on the Epstein files is this: I, as an attorney, prefer facts. Now, gut reaction to Epstein dying in prison, he probably had some help. Is there any evidence pointing to that? I have yet to hear anything that says that is true. So, case in point, when I'm presiding over a hearing and somebody tells me that their boss had it in for them, wanted to fire them, okay, I can take that at face value. Now, to show me the proof. When you have no proof, but they have your time records showing that you have a pattern of being late 15, 20, 30 minutes, and that they use that as a reason to fire you, I have to look at what the proof is. Okay. So that's the type of person that I am. I'm looking at it from a logic and reasoning set of circumstances. I don't much care to be stuck into the conspiracy theory side of things because I need you to show me evidence, and what they call evidence is usually pretty loony. So in terms of the Epstein files, I think it's a big, huge deal with the Republicans because they are expecting it to be a list of Democrats. They think there's going to be proof that Hillary Clinton's got run a pedophile ring out of a pizza shop, and all this other absolute craziness. The truth of the matter is the people who are probably going to show up in the Epstein files are Republicans, because if you look at the roster, you got a whole lot of Republicans who have been accused of sexual assault, which is why I find it very interesting that Miss Maxwell now according to Trump's words, he's not ruling out a pardon for Miss Maxwell. Really? Is that's interesting. So she asked for this meeting. She sees this as a big deal. She's asking for a meeting. She wants to get out of jail, and now it looks like there's a possibility that she could go free. That to me, that's the type of stuff that I need. I need something concrete that I can look at. That gives me an idea of where this may be going. So until it actually happens, all we have at this point are a suspicious set of circumstances. We can't say definitively who or what was discussed in the grand jury testimony because one particular state, I think it's Florida, has refused to release the grand jury testimony there. I believe there's another state where there was a grand jury testimony taken, and they're trying to get the documentation from that particular proceeding, which makes sense. Show me the testimony that was taken under oath, and what those people said under oath. And unless you can prove that these people perjured themselves, then okay, we can see why Jeffrey Epstein was indicted. When they took the testimony, did he name any names? If he didn't, fine. If he did, at least we'll see why he was jailed. But for them to say that there was some particular list, I don't know if there was a list or not. And I think if there was a list, the people who are pushing it so hard are going to be very surprised about who's on it. It's just my personal opinion. I have no proof, that there will be a lot of Republicans on there. Only what we have seen reported before, and that is Trump out of his own mouth has said he grabs women by the pee. That was years ago when we found that out. But here recently, we're finding out about him sending Jeffrey Epstein birthday cards, which are pretty lewd and make references to Jeffrey Epstein and his conduct that he was being investigated for. And not only that, you've got a couple of people on the Supreme Court who have been accused of sexual assault themselves. So I think and those are just three Republicans that I can think of at the moment. There are many more of them. So I think that they will probably be pretty surprised by who's named, if he did name anything. And then at that point, the foolishness is going to kick in again, and they're going to go opposite day and make it a Democrat conspiracy again. And that's the thing. You can't show them truth. All they care about are the conspiracies. All they care about are the lies. All they care about is what benefits them personally. So I think it's another one of those situations where, regardless of whether or not we get the grand jury testimony, which talks about what Jeffrey Epstein told prosecutors, told the grand jury, which, or rather what came out during the grand jury testimony against him, if he didn't testify at all, what evidence they had. I think eventually, especially if it turns out to be unfavorable towards the Republican establishment, that they're going to find a way to turn it on Democrats all over again. That's just the way it is, because that's the way they operate. So it's a dive down the rabbit hole, one way or the other. Number one, if we find out more Republicans were talked about during those hearings, it'll just, basically confirm what has been reported in the past, that you got a lot of them that are into sexual misconduct, even though they're not getting in trouble for it the way somebody else would. Like, for instance, if this list does contain a whole lot of Democrats, I guarantee you the Republicans are going to be screaming bloody murder and wanting to put every last one of them in jail. But they won't do the same thing if the truth of the matter is it lists a lot of Republicans. Then all of a sudden it's going to be a lie. All of a sudden it's going to be, a hoax by the Democrats. That's just where we are. If it benefits their side, they're all on it. If it doesn't, it's got to be fake news. I'm done.
I got a question, Ann. No, I've got a question for you, because everybody's talking about the grand jury testimony. Then I'm gonna go to Mike. Okay, we're gonna be fair. Going to Mike next. Let him talk all he wants. But
I'm listening, William. What's your question?
Okay, I was interrupted. I'm sorry, Ann. But anyway,
okay.
Grand jury testimony. That is my understanding, that's only a small percentage of what's even in the files. And grand jury testimony is normally protected. And I think the judge has ruled against that, because normally they don't release grand jury testimony. That's protected speech in the courts, I understand. So my question to you is, rather than the grand jury testimony, the FBI has the files. The Attorney General has the files. Why not release the files, redact the victims? You want to protect the victims, but release the files. They have it right now. So I think it was an end around to try to convince the public, this is my opinion, that, okay, we're trying to get the grand jury testimony, when they knew all along there was a good chance that the judge was going to shoot that request down. Okay? We don't want just the grand jury testimony. We want everything. Release the files. They already have it, And so what do you say about that? Then I have a few other questions after Mike comments. But what do you say about that?
Every jurisdiction has their rules regarding grand jury testimony, as you were pointing out. Like I said, the judge in Florida said no, we're not doing it. I think it's New York where they're trying to get grand jury testimony, but they made it pretty clear, Mr. Patel and Ms. Bundy, that they are otherwise going to protect. Well, I won't say protect. They're not going to release those files. If you have been keeping up with the articles, there's been a report about Pam Bondi telling Trump back in May, I think, that when she reviewed the files, his name was listed there, but his name came up. So as they were doing the investigation, don't know how the name came up. Maybe, somebody saying that they were just friends or whatever the case may be. He was mentioned. And so for that reason, there's the belief or the reporting that that's why the files haven't been released. That sounds like par for the course when we're talking about Trump. So I can believe that. Unless they release them, we aren't going to know, though, are we? we know what's been reported, but we won't be able to see for ourselves like they did with the RFK and JFK and MLK. They've released all of those, and included some very sensitive information of people like social security numbers that didn't need to be released along with that information. But okay, since we are, deep diving into conspiracyville, go ahead and release the all the information on the Epstein files too. What's the problem with that? And I think the problem is what's been reported in the news media that, Pam Bundy told him, you've been mentioned here. And it's funny, his friend Elon Musk, when they were arguing, even said that was the case. But I don't listen to what Elon says because he's a big liar too. And not to mention the fact that he loves a good conspiracy. So I think we've got circumstantial evidence that suggests that Patel and Bondi, especially since Patel was one of the people prior to being, in the 2025 Trump administration, who was pushing the Epstein conspiracy theory. It's really amazing that he's gone really quiet all of a sudden, and he's not one of the people pushing for this to be released. So I think there's a high likelihood that there's some information there that they don't want people to see, even if it's just
I think you're right.
Just a Trump association with Epstein, which everybody already knows about. But again, until we get to see the evidence, we're left basically with nothing, which is what his base is upset about. They've been told for years now, since Jeffrey Epstein died, that this was a big conspiracy covering up, Democrat involvement, with all these sexual allegations of them having sex with young girls or whatnot. Okay, so you believe that all this time, and now that the Republicans are in control, and the number one Republican, Pam Bondi, who has access to the file, said that she was reviewing it and she was going to release it. Now all of a sudden she's backtracked and there's no there, according to her. I can see why they're a little suspicious when you've, made a big production of releasing everything else.
Before I go to Mike, I want to acknowledge that we have quite a few listeners there. Sheila Davis, thank you. Emma Brown, my sister. Dustin Pace, Sandy Moody, Misha Washington, Diane Reed. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening in. Now, Mike,
thank you.
I noticed here the biggest call for the release of these files have been coming from his base, the Republicans. Okay, and he's also said that, she says that there's no there, but then Pam Bondi said, then he comes back and said, there is a file, but Obama, Biden, who else, Hillary, and someone else manipulated those files, or they wrote those files, or they put the information in there. Are you buying that, Mike? that Obama and Biden and Hillary and the Democrats had something to do with those files? Do you buy that?
Great question. First, let me say I don't think anything should be kept from us as the American citizens. I think there should be clear transparency in everything that they do. I'm not for all this secret behind the curtain stuff. I'm not for that. Let the information be released, and let the people of the United States make up their own mind, and the world in this case, because the world's watching us as well. So release the information. Yes, protect any victims. Redact the names of the victims. Obviously, we don't want child porn or anything like that, videotapes going out. I think we all could agree on that. But as far as who's who in the zoo, release the information. And as far as Republicans being on the list, being more afraid, I wasn't aware that Bill Clinton was a Republican, and him in the Oval Office and Monica Lewinsky. So again, I go back to nobody has clean hands here. Not Trump, not Bill Clinton, not Hillary Clinton. None of them have clean hands, in my personal opinion. There were multiple cameras in this guy's houses, multiple houses, and you know damn well there was recordings going on. There are people that are on those tapes, in my opinion, as an investigator, where there's a lot of smoke, not a little smoke. Where there's a lot of smoke, there's some fire. And to tell me, oh, nothing to see here, folks, move along, is absolutely ridiculous. Turn the files loose on me. I'll release the stuff. I got no problem. I got no problem burning right side or left side. And that's where you and I differ, William, is that you want to just burn one side. I'll burn either side if they're in the wrong. And that's one of the major differences that you and I have, is like, you only go after one side. I will go after wrong on both sides. And I try to be very clear about that. Now, Trump was a known friend of him, of Epstein, that they would jet all over the world together. They were best buddies. So yeah, he's going to be involved in this somewhere. If he did wrong things, if his halo slipped, then he should be prosecuted as well and thrown out of office. So I don't protect Trump at the expense of other people. What's going on here? I'm just watching the screen. It's switching around.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: Biden was in office, and Obama before him for multiple years. They had access to these files, and if there's some damaging information on those files against Trump, they would have released it, guaranteed. So I'm kind of suspicious that if they had the information that was damning against Trump, why didn't they release it? That is suspicious to me. That's a red flag.
Well, that's a good question. But now you can leave Obama out of this, because Epstein was prosecuted. No, he was prosecuted way back in 2005, whatever it was. Okay. However,
correct.
I'm going to leave Obama out of this. Yes, Biden was in office after Epstein was convicted of these crimes and things of that nature. But you have to understand, he was convicted of this major crime, this last one, while Trump was in office in 2019. Okay, so let's leave Obama out of this. Okay, now as far as Biden is concerned, as far as Biden is concerned, then I'm going to say, if I have any blame on why it wasn't released while Biden was in there, I'm gonna put it on Merrick Garland. Look how long it came for him to try to prosecute Trump for these other crimes that he never has been held accountable for. Yeah, he was convicted of 34 felonies. Okay, also a rape allegation. He had to pay. Hold it. And he was almost had to pay and have to pay almost $100 million on that, and so many other things, right? But I'm going to put that on Merrick Garland, because this guy was slow as a worm. Look, I think that he was definitely incompetent, because he took too long to charge Trump. And if he had, we wouldn't have this mess in the first place right now that we're going through. But now, but you made a mischaracterization as far as I'm concerned. If a Democrat does something wrong, I am going to call it out. So you're wrong about that, and you know that's true. When that Democratic senator got caught. I think he took a bribe from Egypt. I'm talking about Mr. Gold Bars.
Gold
Had him
bars in the
sold in
suit,
his
yeah.
whatever it was. I called him out. Okay. So
Which is very
I don't
rare
care
for
if
you.
it is. Mike, that is not true. Because if you look at what's been happening, who's been committing the most crimes over the last 10 years, it's been Republicans. If a
All
Democrat
of
does
them.
something wrong, I'm going to call them out. Okay? Now, and if you look at all the conspiracies that's going on, all the corruption that's going on, like you said, both sides. Nobody buying that crap. Okay? Because if you look at it, it is not a level playing field. Okay? That is not level. The Republicans have committed more crimes than the Democrats have. They have. And I tell you what, I can pull it up. You remember Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Steve Bannon? We can go down the list. His whole first cabinet was nothing but corrupt criminals that went to jail. You can't say the same thing about the Democrats. You can't do that. Okay? And I'm going to say it again. And if Bill Clinton is in that file and he did something wrong, yep, lock him up. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm never going to defend anybody that's wrong. I don't care what the Republican, Democrat, and independent, it doesn't matter to me. So that's a mischaracterization that you said about me. That is totally wrong. I don't think
so.
Because I have called them out. I have called them out in the past, and you know that. Okay,
You
so
called out
don't play
one
the game
guy
with me.
one time.
Well, guess what? That's the only one I got. Give me somebody
Can I say
else,
something?
and you give me another. Yes, you can in a minute, and give me somebody, some other Democrat that's done something wrong, and I will call them out. Give me another one.
If
I
I
just
had a
named
chance,
three
I'd
or
pull
four.
up I pull up a long list.
Oh, you should. I gave you 3 or 4 right off the bat. Okay, his whole cabinet is corrupt. Right now, they're corrupt. So if you give me a list, and if they did something wrong, I will definitely call them out. I have no problem with that. And what did you have to say?
Well, number one,
And?
when we're talking about, can you hear me okay? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yes,
You're
I can
good.
hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay. Well, when it comes to open investigations, very often, normally what you're not going to have the investigating party like the FBI or whomever it is telling the public what they found on a blow by blow basis. Now, sometimes when it's a high profile case and they need help, they'll say, look, this person is driving this kind of car, they were wearing this, they were last seen there, we need some help, blah 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 blah. But normally when they are conducting an investigation, they don't come out and release all the stuff that they've been gathering. That's not normally what happens. Also, it's not normal to go after your political foes by using, what's happening, weaponizing it, so to speak. All of this is fairly new in our society. Don't get me wrong. We do have really nasty politics when we've got politicians running for office. They will pull up dirt on each other and slinging it. And it's one of the things that I really hate about politics. Just stick to the facts. Tell me what you are going to do. Don't get me wrong. I think I need to know if somebody's been convicted of a crime for, in the jurisdiction where they were mayor for embezzling money. That's something I need to know. But the fact that somebody's got marital issues and they're cheating on their wife with, say, Monica Lewinsky, she's not a child. This is a grown woman. She was an intern. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein and Miss Maxwell trafficking underage girls, molesting underage girls, sexually abusing underage girls. That's not the same thing. We're talking about a grown woman who made the choice to have an affair or to sleep with somebody. That's not my business what these people are doing in the bedroom together. I don't really care about that. But if we're talking about somebody who is sexually assaulting young women, whether they're underage or they are adults, that's different. that's something that we need to know about, and that person shouldn't be put in power because they're already proven that the little bit of power that they have, they're willing to abuse it by hurting other people. So I think there's a bit of a difference. We can name a whole lot of people who've had affairs. I mean, you want to go back to JFK and Marilyn Monroe. They love to talk about the fact that they had an affair just as much as they like to talk about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. But in those particular instances, we're talking about married men cheating on their wives with adult women. Jeffrey Epstein, we are talking about sexually abusing children. I think those are two very different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Right now, in his current cabinet, RFK Jr. He's been known to, or was involved with Jeffrey Epstein as well. Okay, that's a report that I read last week, and also the worst education secretary ever, Linda McMahon. Do you know that the judge paused a child sexual abuse case involving Trump's education secretary picked Linda McMahon and her husband, Vince McMahon? Okay, I read that story a couple of months ago. And what was happening, it was somebody that worked for them also that was grooming and sexually molesting young boys. Okay, they used to come around. You know how young men, they like to get involved with boxing and wrestling and things of that nature. So there was a group of young men that used to come around, to study the sport or get involved some kind of way with the McMahons. And right now, the judge just paused a case like that. So this is what we're talking about. And like I said, hey, if Bill Clinton is involved, if there's any other Democrat that's involved in anything like that, oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody, no one is above the law. They all should be held accountable. I cannot, in good conscience, say I'm going to support this guy. Oh yeah, well, Trump did it, but my guy did it, and I'm not going to hold him. But I'm only going to do one side. That's not even right. That's not even fair. If you're supposed to be a fair-minded person, you're supposed to judge equally across the board. So no, I'm not giving Democrats if they did something wrong. As a matter of fact, there was someone in Hillary Clinton's what is that creep name? This woman who was one of Hillary's assistants, and her husband was a creep.
Uma.
I have no idea. I don't know.
She was married to Anthony Weiner.
Weiner, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
What a creep. I have no problem with that.
Yep.
Now the wife wasn't accused of anything, but the husband was a creep.
Yep.
He was a Democrat. Get him out of here.
Thank you.
Guys,
That's
like I
all I'm
said,
saying.
and I believe, no, that's what I've always said. That's what I've always said. So, like I said, it's not right for you to say that, hey, I'm only going to judge if it's Republican. No. What I'm saying is, if you look at the amount of evidence, you look at the amount of criminals, it is not an equal. It's not equal. Okay, you got some Democrats, but you got a pile of Republicans. It's not. It's not. So you can't say, well, both sides. No. Okay, both sides have done something, but we talk about a vast difference in the amount. Okay, it's a difference in somebody robbing a bank and somebody stealing a loaf of bread, as far as I'm concerned.
So, can I make a recommendation? Can I make a blind recommendation?
You can make it. You
maybe next Sunday. Maybe next Sunday we expose both sides and we add them up the way you're talking about it right now. You say the Republicans are all evil and the Democrats are all pretty much good people. Let's balance it out next week.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Let us all do our research and let us line it all out. And I'll bet you it's pretty equal, both sides being
okay. And I bet you you lose that bet. I bet you lose that bet.
I'm willing to lose that bet.
Let's do it.
I'm willing to lose the bet.
All right,
but I'm willing to look at both sides.
I have no problem with it.
Okay.
So I don't know where your argument lies there. But
I'm just making
talk
a
about this
recommendation. Let's level the playing field. Let's look at both sides
Let's
and
do
let's add it up. Let's add up the score.
I would love it. I would love it. I would
think it's
absolutely
fair.
love it.
Isn't that
Now,
fair?
I would love to. And guess what? I will not back down. I promise you that. Now, the next thing I want to say is, now you look at what's going on. Why is if there are so many Democrats that are or his enemies or Trump's, I'm talking about Trump, his enemies in that file, why doesn't he release it? That's fine.
That makes more sense. That's a Trump thing to do.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't he do that? Okay, and I'm gonna tell you something. And he's messing around with Rupert Murdoch. Now he's filed with some people said 10 billion. Some people said 20 billion. I don't know what the true figure is, but I do know that he filed a lawsuit against Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal. I don't really think he's going to go through that. And I want your opinion on it because I really don't think that he's going through that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because number one, not like him, Rupert Murdoch has real lawyers. You can believe that. He has real lawyers. And I don't think, and he put out that birthday letter that he published that birthday letter that Trump allegedly wrote to Epstein. Allegedly. Okay, I'm saying allegedly. I don't know. None of us have the information. Now, we get our information from other sources. And the strength of that information relies on the source that we get it from. And sometimes it's good to double check those sources on many different levels, like whether it's the Guardian, whether it's whatever outlet that you look at, right? Or a podcast or whatever it is, or newspaper. And so do you think that Rupert Murdoch, now keep in mind, he paid out over $750 million because they were spreading lies about the election and things of that nature. And they had to pay Smartmatic $750 million. And there's still another lawsuit that's pending for $2 billion over the same thing. Like I said, Rupert Murdoch, you better believe Wall Street Journal, they've got excellent lawyers. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to take on Rupert Murdoch. I think this is a distraction to do that. And also, there's a thing, and you can address this. If you're going to sue someone, and you guys go to court, there's something called discovery. Am I right? Mm-hmm. There's something that, and discovery means that you're going to have to open up and give information. That means that he's going to have to open up and tell who, what, why, when, where, and how. I don't think he wants to take on that fight. What's your take, Ann?
Well, I have a different take on it. I think he's very willing to take on that fight because he's been attacking the media systematically for quite some time. I think he just settled with ABC because he sued them. I think he sued. Was it CBS over some?
Was it ABC or CBS reporting or both?
He sued both of them. He sued ABC and they settled. He sued CBS over their Kamala Harris interview, which he claimed they doctored.
Which they doctored it. You can go back and look at it. It wasn't a claim. They proved that it was doctored. They asked one question, then they took an answer from a different question and put it in there, and they doctored the whole thing. So it wasn't. It's not just a claim. It's factual.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's actually what happened, Mike. I think what happened is they edited. They edited out. They edited out, and that's a whole different.
Tell the truth.
Well, Fox does that to Trump. Fox does that for Trump all day long, every day. And
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Yep, the both of you did, but I will continue now. It's okay. It's okay. So he's been picking a fight with the media to discredit the media. It's part of his ongoing degradation of the Constitution and the rights granted to us by the Constitution. If he can make the news media seem unreliable, and more people, forcing more people to buy into his version of events, then that's a good thing for him. So it's just another assault on the Constitution and the rights that are afforded by the Constitution. So will he go through with this with Rupert Murdoch? I think ABC News had great lawyers. I think CBS had great lawyers, not to mention the fact that he's going after different colleges and universities that he doesn't like too. He's working on quelling free speech, period. The first amendment's, it's just
Right.
being attacked. So I don't think he'll back down just because it's Rupert Murdoch. I think it's a part of a wider plan that's been implemented, especially with this Project 2025 crap that they've been systematically implementing since he got into office. So, but that's just my personal opinion. I can't say that that's what's going to happen. We'll find out in time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna I have a different take on that. Why CBS just settled? I think they settled for $16 million. Okay, and they said, well, it's not going to go directly to Trump. It's going to his library. Okay, give me a break. So
why do you want to pay for his library anyway? I mean, it either way it goes. When it comes to settling, I look at who owns it and what they're getting out of it. I think CBS is owned by Paramount, and Paramount had a reason for wanting to settle it so that they can get what they wanted.
Merger, yes.
Right. So and it's that type of thing that's been going on a whole lot. You've got a lot of people caving, giving in to what Trump wants in order to get what they want. In other words, the swamp that's supposed to be drained is suddenly flooded because he's doing the exact same thing that he claimed he was rooting out. All his little billionaire friends, for instance, showing up at his inauguration and changing their tactics as soon as he got elected. So now you've got mergers that were being held up all of a sudden being approved.
You scratch my back.
Exactly. So I don't think that they're
stinks to high heaven.
Right. I don't think they're settling because they agree. I think they're settling because this is a little bit of money that we have to pay out, but we're going to get a bigger payout over here.
Get along. Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's my take on that. Because he threatened. Now see, this should be
William? Yep, y'all agreed on something.
We actually agreed on something.
I noticed that. I'm like, I'm just gonna go along. We're not arguing, so I'm just. But yes, I noticed you agreed on something. Yeah.
I love you no matter what, William. I really do.
No, same here. There's no question about it. It's just like two brothers fighting. I have a brother that's 2 years younger. Him and I used to fight like cats and dogs, but I love my brother. Okay, I will defend him anyway. There's no question about that. But hey, I'm going to say what I have to say, and I'm going to stick to my beliefs until you prove me wrong. Okay, but I'm not going to say something just to placate someone or to go along with, just to get along. I'm not doing that. But anyway, I think you guys are exactly right. And that's the only reason why. But see, the thing about it, the awful thing about this is that it's a quid pro quo. You pay me this money, I'll let you have your merger. So, and that's all that was all about. And that was all. And I'm so upset with Columbia University because they settled for, I think, for over $200 million. Now, where's that money going? I'm sorry, Ann.
No, I was agreeing. I was saying the number. It's 200 million. Yeah. I was agreeing with you. Yeah. I saw
and
that
why?
Too. They're scared, William. They're being bullied.
It doesn't seem like Harvard is backing down, though. I hope Harvard's counter-sues. Good.
They're not.
Good.
Not
I hope they
down.
don't. They shouldn't. And see, this is the thing about it, folks. He wants to get rid of any media outlet that doesn't agree with him. That no country, no president or leader of any country should have the right to do that, the ability to do that. He wants to get rid of PBS, you know, and just like we were talking about Linda McMahon earlier, Secretary of Education. Some people say, well, we need to get rid of the Secretary of Education. Well, do you know how many uneducated children you're going to have? Okay. Yeah. Can the education system be improved? Yes. Yes, it can be improved. And how do you do that? You have to do it from the ground root. Then you have to elect better school board members, school board officials. That's where it starts, because they're in charge of the hiring, the fire, the curriculum, who goes, who comes, what equipment to buy, and things of that nature. And so Linda McMahon didn't even know what AI was. She called it A1. Okay. And we're talking about somebody that's dumber than a box of hammers. And education secretary, are you kidding me right now? I mean, we're talking about a whole cabinet of degenerates. And that's exactly what I call them. Everybody there is unqualified. So I don't want to hear anything about DEI. Don't even tell me anything about DEI when you got the dumbest cabinet in the world in that White House right now. Okay, the dumbest. Everybody needs to go. But the point is, we cannot allow free speech to be eradicated in this country. This is one of the main pillars of this country. You can't do it. You can't have a conversation like we're having right now in North Korea. You can't have a conversation like we're having right now in Russia.
You'd be dead.
Right.
It's like
or put in a jail.
You can jump out of an airplane without a parachute one time.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That's a good analogy. Absolutely. Yes. And we shouldn't let that happen here. We shouldn't let that happen here.
Is.
You know, and I don't think
What?
And go on.
I was just saying, but it is happening right before our eyes, and it just hurts to see so many people blinded by what is literally unfolding right before. It's like, how can you not see it?
Right in front of your eyes.
It's unfolding in real time, and it's scary. It's sad. It's surreal. It's strange. You know, not because for so long people thought it could never happen here. Guess what, folks? It's happening right here, right now. It
shouldn't.
I remember back in 2016, and through that first administration, I used to say all the time, well, while America is still America, you know, you can say what you want to say. And I was still saying that while Biden was in office, because, you know, everybody else had this huge sigh of relief when he was elected. But I'm like, this is a problem, because yes, he was elected, but we don't have a majority in the House and in the Senate, which is a huge problem, it was a huge red flag for me. So I was happy, you know, that we had a 4-year reprieve, but I wasn't completely surprised to see that we ended up back here, because apparently there weren't enough people who saw what was happening during the first administration and realized, okay, we dodged a bullet, and we need to make sure that it doesn't happen again. I'm not surprised that we're here, but at the same time, it's like being in a horror movie. It's strange. It really is, to see everything that was normal suddenly become abnormal. You know, and to have kids, you know, secretly videotaping police officers, telling them they don't have rights because they're amigos. It's really weird. And I don't know if enough people are paying attention still. I think we still have enough. We still have people who are looking at all the wrong stuff, believing all the wrong conspiracies, and having an aversion for truth and facts. And it's I'm at times at a loss for words at how strange and topsy-turvy our society has become. And it's not just here. People are running to Europe. It's happening everywhere. I saw an article about in the UK how Islamophobia has become standard over there now too, where it used to be one of those things that was looked down upon. Now it seems to be okay. They've got a far right person as the prime minister of, I think, Italy. And not to mention that the far right is gaining a lot of traction in France, and they are rising up in Germany again. And we're not going to even talk about what's going on in South America. Over 70%, I think close to 80% of the world is ruled by authoritarian rulers. Think about it. That is most of the world that is ruled by authoritarianism. And then the place where it seemed you weren't going to have that happening is filled with backsliding democracies, meaning we all seem to be slipping backwards into authoritarianism. What happens when the whole globe is China? What happens when the whole globe is Russia? What happens when the whole globe is North Korea? And people really need to wake up and see that that's where we are. We're on course for that. Not just here. It's happening everywhere.
I never thought it would happen here either, because for all of my life, the better part of my life, this is one thing that I enjoyed about this country, that we had freedoms that most people don't get a chance to live. I mean, I said, wow. And that's why, and that's what made, when people say this is the greatest country in the world, and then you look at and see what things are in other countries, especially when you have authoritarianism, and you said, wow, man, I am so happy that I was born here. And I would think that most Americans would want the same thing. And to see what's going on now, and you still going to support this clown? It is absolutely nuts. Makes no sense, because the only thing he's done since he's been in is grift. He's made over $3 billion since he's been in office. Okay, right now he's over in Scotland, and he went over there primarily because he's building a new golf course over there, and on the taxpayers' dime. And I think Scotland has to pay for it too. I don't know why Scotland would even agree to that at all. I don't understand that. It makes no difference. He's got in Qatar, I believe he's got a golf club going up, and a hotel, a golf course rather, in Syria. Okay, and you're talking quid pro quo. Well, there were sanctions. I mean, tariffs put on Syria, but once they agreed to let him have a $5 billion golf course, he dropped the tariffs. Okay, so folks, go on, Mike.
So I have two questions. Should Trump, who's been a businessman all his life in properties and building and so on and so forth, because he's currently president, this is a rhetorical question, by the way, should his enterprise, Trump enterprise, should he just stop because he's president? So he should his dealings in the world should just stop because he's president? It's a rhetorical question. The other thing is, how much, if you're talking about making money as a president, look up how much Obama was worth when he became a president, and look up how much he was worth after he was the president. So don't tell me that presidents don't make money. Look at both sides, William. This is the one thing I keep pounding on you about, is look at both sides.
Nope.
Obama made a ton of money when he was the president.
After he left, and Michelle, I did. He made $60 million because he wrote his memoirs. That was after he
left. He made money as president.
You can after you leave, but wait, hold on. There's something that you're missing.
Candy coated any way you want. He made money as president.
I'm not candy coating anything. And Ann can attest to this. There's something called the emoluments clause, that you are not allowed to do it while you're president. Period. Did you know that?
We talked
You're
about
not allowed
to
do it. So
we talked about the emoluments clause.
That's a false comparison,
He
Mike.
made a lot of money from being the president.
After you're allowed to do that.
He
after
made
you leave.
a lot of money by
allowed
being the president. All of them make money.
It doesn't matter.
Both sides.
Mike, are you, buddy? Okay, I would advise that you clear your ears out. I said afterwards. You're not allowed to do it while you're in. It's illegal to do it while you're in office.
Clear your ears. I said he made a lot of money by being president. I didn't say while in office.
And
he made a lot. Here's what I'd like to say. What I think we should do is I think we should get. I think we should have Ann. She should have her gavel. And she should be able to gavel. She should be able to gavel both of us.
She should have gabbled you. She already told you, Mike. She already told you that I was right. She already told you. You're not allowed to do it.
Well, I have in the past tried to play judge. Y'all don't listen to me. Y'all don't listen to me when I try to reel you in. It seems to make y'all mad.
Will you please?
Here we go. Here we go. I'm doing it right now. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind, whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. Now, what has happened also in terms of that is that not just the president, but we were talking about members of Congress and even judges, all these folks. Right. Where we're talking about Pelosi, we're talking about Clarence Thomas. All of them are supposed to make sure that there is no conflict of interest, even in their business dealings. So one way I believe, and William, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this part of it. I think one of the ways that they were allowed to still invest and make money, but without having that conflict of interest, is if they did stuff like, I think, mutual funds or something like that, because it's going into a sort of a basket type of investment where you get a bunch of different companies together in one fund, and a person invests in that, versus, I've got a 1% interest in Microsoft. So now whenever Microsoft has some stuff coming up that's going to benefit them in Congress, which way are you going to vote? Are you going to vote in a way that's going to hurt your stock, or are you going to vote in a way that's going to increase your stock? So what's supposed to happen is the president, members of Congress, all those types of folks are not supposed to have a conflict of interest when it comes to their business dealings. Not saying that they can't have business dealings, just saying that they aren't supposed to be so clearly biased one way or the other. And we do have issues with that particular with that particular rule being violated. Like Mike said, it's happened before. The fact that Trump is so blatant with it, I think, is a huge problem. We just talked about, all in the news about Clarence Thomas, getting these gifts and taking these lavish, expensive trips and whatnot. We found out other people on the Supreme Court may have engaged in similar activity. Right, Alito. So it is a problem, period, that needs to be reined in. But it does happen. So, and I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm saying what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is that they are supposed to engage in business in a way that does not present that kind of conflict of interest.
Right, absolutely. And so it's insider trading. It's illegal for us to do it, and it should be illegal for any member of Congress to do it as well, from top to bottom. You're exactly right. And Nancy Pelosi is a culprit. She definitely is no question about it. I'm gonna call her out. Oh, by the way, Mike, she's a Democrat. All right. But anyway, Nancy Pelosi, and there's a ton of them.
I applaud you opening your eyes.
And Democrats. With this particular issue right here, there is a both sides issue. It's a both sides problem. I go along with that 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. No, you don't have to think, because this is what I do, Mike. I'm gonna call it when I see it. I'm going to call balls and strikes. I'm going to call balls and strikes. Yep. And as a matter of fact, it's not the first time you heard me call out Nancy Pelosi. That's not the first time. I did it. I did it several months ago. I'll do it again, over and over again. This is a both sides issue. It's a both sides problem. Getting back to what Ann says, as far as mutual funds is concerned, I think they are allowed to do mutual funds, because you cannot. You don't get insider trading using mutual funds, but you can with stocks. And remember, who was that went to jail? Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading. She tried to claim to the judge, "Oh, well, I didn't know, my broker did that." But see, the bottom line is she was a former stockbroker, so the judge wasn't buying that. The judge was not buying it because she was a former stockbroker. But no, it shouldn't be done. But when it comes to presidents, the reason why he shouldn't be taking jets and golf courses and hotels and things like that, okay, because then you are vulnerable right there. Okay, well, I let you build this golf course in my country. What are you going to do for me? It's easy to manipulate someone if you are providing an income or wealth or whatever it is. So it's so easy to do that. Like I said, he dropped the tariffs on Syria because they allowed him to build a golf course. And who knows? As a matter of fact, when he went over there the first time, I think it was something like $5 billion worth of stuff that he got for himself. He claimed that he brought $16 trillion back to the United States. No. That's a little bit less than half of the debt that we owe right there. $16 trillion. Well, hey, if he did that, then pay half the debt down. Pay half the debt down. No, it's all about him. It's all about him. It's always been about him, and he shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. Like I said, suing Paramount, suing these colleges, suing all of these people. Okay, and then the money goes towards your library. Well, guess what? That's the same thing as going into your bank. You get to choose to spend that money any way you want to spend it. I mean, it is so stupid, it's so corrupt, and it makes no sense at all. And he has a history of it. There's no other president in the history of the United States that has been as corrupt as this man right here. And there's nobody here on this panel or anywhere that can deny that. No, Mike, who else? Nobody else.
Well, I think the last time we did.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think we looked up the top 10 worst presidents that last time, and I don't think he was number one. I think he was, what was he? Was he listed as 4, 7, something crazy? But it was, I forgot the name of the person that they considered to be the worst president ever. But seems like we
the
went
most corrupt.
Yeah, seems like we went through
the worst president or the most corrupt, because there has not been a more corrupt president than this one. Who? Not even.
I didn't
Nixon.
say I agree with the list. I just read the article how they listed it, who were the worst presidents.
Because up to now, everyone thought that Nixon was the most corrupt. Okay, but I tell you what, presidential historians rather, who grade presidents, they said that he's the worst.
Wow.
They said that he was the worst. Well, and I tell you something again. If you compare him to the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even Bush, as dumb as Bush was, I thought Bush was the dumbest president ever. Okay,
which one?
the son,
the last one, the last one. And he was man. Good Lord, man, he was dumb. But anyway, but this one right here, he can't even spell. He can't read. He can't spell. And I'm gonna tell you, there was something that I looked at. I had a. I'm not gonna play it. I'll play it maybe next week. but they were talking about qualifications, and they were talking about DEI. And guys, I hate that term because I'm telling you, if you look at this administration and you look at the previous one, there's no comparison as far as smarts are concerned. And Kamala, I'm going to say it over and over and over again. I don't think we would not be nearly in as much trouble as we in right now if she were president.
Oh Lord!
Yeah. Oh Lord. Yeah. You better call on her. You better call on her like everybody else. Okay.
I know you both have love for Kamala, but that woman is dumb as
no. Mike, you're not.
Wow.
What are you serious right now, Mike?
Sorry,
Mike.
opinion. That's strictly my opinion. That
Mike,
woman,
well, guess what?
She couldn't.
That woman. Hey, Mike. Well, hold it.
She couldn't put a sentence together. We got word salad after word salad after word salad, and you know it. And you both know it.
Mike.
I'm sorry, Ann.
Mike.
I don't wish to offend you.
Well, okay.
I don't mind offending William.
Well, I'm saying, but Mike.
Yeah, we know.
I don't know.
We know.
I don't know what Kamala you're talking about, but you cannot be an attorney and be stupid, because number one, that bar exam.
How many attorneys do you know that are stupid? And how many attorneys do you know that are stupid?
Pam Bondi
tell
is
the truth.
one.
Tell the truth.
Well, guess what?
Pam Bondi.
And guess what?
That Conway.
Pam Bondi who works for Trump.
Okay.
That Conway
What's that other one?
But what William said was untrue. You can still be an attorney and be an idiot.
No. And women, hold it. Who was that other one who lost Trump over $100 million that he was trying to get confirmed in New Jersey as the attorney general there? Alina Harbour. Alina Harbour. You ever heard of her?
Yeah, she was Trump's attorney. She was Trump's attorney.
Let's get back to Mike. This is why you're so wrong about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, number one, she's a prosecutor, attorney general, a senator, and VP. She has more experience as far as speaking.
And how'd she get there? And how'd she get there? Yeah, exactly.
Hard work. That's how she got there.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Hard work. Yes, that's exactly what I call it. And I don't know why you don't like her, because number one, she is smart. Number one, she's smarter than Trump.
Dislike thing. She got there.
Mike,
she got
why are you
there
making
under.
Stuff up? Are you trying to tell?
It's well known.
You are making it up. Yeah, Mike, that is so stupid what you're saying right now. It is stupid. And now, are you trying to say that Trump is smarter than she is?
I'm not saying any of these politicians are smart.
No, that's not the question.
They know how to get over on the American public.
That wasn't the question. Are you trying to tell me that Trump is smarter than Kamala Harris?
What's your question?
Are you trying to say that?
What's your question?
Your question? You heard the question.
Is
Trump smarter than Kamala Harris?
Well, okay, let me just interject here and lay it all out.
And your opinion, because Mike is making no sense at all. None. Zero.
I'm going to lay it out for the people listening who want to know what the basis of this argument is. On the one hand, Mike is saying that, and this is something that's been alleged for years, that Kamala Harris became prominent in politics because she had an affair with a married man.
Alleged.
William, well, no, they've both acknowledged, if I'm not mistaken, that they had a relationship. I don't think that's a problem.
No, they were friends.
Okay. On the other side, William is saying that that's not how Kamala Harris came to be who she is, and I agree with that. Kamala Harris was educated at Howard University, which for Black is the Black Harvard, so as we call it. She went on to get a law degree, and she has successfully broken a lot of barriers in California, as well on the national stage, by becoming the first African American female, as well as first African American to be vice president. So I don't think in any shape, form, or fashion that she's stupid, that she didn't earn what she got. And when I listen to her talk, I find her to be highly intelligent, and I can understand everything she says. Now, when Trump speaks, on the other hand, it's like talking to a toddler. I remember saying, I remember when AJ and Alex were, younger that first time around the 2016 election, and I said that he sounded like, a kindergartner when he talked, and AJ and Alex were like, "Don't insult kindergartners like that, please." But what I don't get is the hatred of Ivy League schools, because the people who are in power, who are doing so much to overturn our way of life, most of them have come from Ivy League schools. If I'm not mistaken, George Bush Jr. got a degree from Harvard. And most of the people on the Supreme Court have Ivy League degrees. And Trump himself has a degree from an Ivy League school. Sorry.
Was that an Ivy League
University
the business school?
It's Pennsylvania. I forget what
it was. Wharton School of Business. Wharton School of Business. Is that Ivy League? I'm not sure.
I'm not talking about the business school. I'm talking about the university.
That's where he graduated from.
What I'm saying
he graduated from Wharton. Okay.
No. Okay. Well, I don't want to lie. I was under the impression that he at least went to an Ivy League school. It's the one whose name I can't remember. I can remember Harvard and Yale and Princeton, but there's one in Pennsylvania that always throws me. Anyway, that I think a whole lot of people who hate liberal schools really do need to explain to me why. Because you obviously went to these schools for their pedigree, for their prestige, even though very often the only reason why they got in is because they were legacy students, meaning a lot of those schools, if you have a relative who graduated from there like a parent, you're automatically allowed to attend. Who knew? So you have a lot of people who didn't get there, supposedly because they are so intelligent, which is what these schools say that they're all about, that you have to be the cream of the crop. But you've got a lot of people who are there because either their parents work for the schools or they are legacy enrollees because they've had family members who have gone to the school, graduated from the school. And we won't even talk about the other stuff. We just stick with those two. And so these aren't necessarily people who have proven themselves to be all that intellectually superior to other folks. They just happen to have gone to a school that's considered, to be prestigious, that's considered to be, say, a thoroughbred rather than a mutt. to put it in layman's terms. I don't think that it's fair to then turn around when you've got your degree from this place to help you get to the next level and want to vilify the schools because in general, they tend to lean liberal. You yourself aren't liberal, and you're making laws that are anti-democratic, which supposedly goes against what these schools stand for. So that disconnect there is jarring to me. You go to a school so that you can get to this next level, but then at the same time you want to use what you've got to make it more difficult for other people to exercise their fundamental rights. It to me it just is nonsensical, but that's where we are.
I looked it up, and no, the Wharton School of Business, it is not itself an Ivy League school, but it is the business school of the University of Pennsylvania, which is one of the 8 Ivy League. Yeah, the University of Pennsylvania. You're right on that part, but no. And the strangest thing about it is that he sued the school to block his transcripts. He will not release his transcripts.
Where's Obama's?
Okay, so
where's Obama's?
I tell you what, I guarantee you can get it. I guarantee you. Yeah,
There's
and
fair.
guess what? Fair is fair, and then if you want to be fair, then you would find out. I would be glad to tell you that he was in the top a quarter of his class.
How do you
Did
know?
you know that?
How do you know?
I do know. I read it, Mike. I read it.
Oh, you read it on the internet. Must be true then.
I think the issue with
Mike.
Trump. I think the issue with Trump is that he makes his IQ an issue. He says he has a higher IQ than these people, that he's smarter than other folks. Mm-hmm. Nobody else does that. I haven't heard President Obama or anybody else say that they're smarter than this person or that person. Mm-hmm. Trump has made this an issue, which is why there's a question about, okay, well, if you're so smart, then let us see your IQ test results. Let us see your test results. And then and now he's saying, no, you can't see that. So I think Trump made that an issue. I don't think that's because we want to see the transcripts of everybody who runs for office. If that's the case,
I do.
We would have had a problem with George Bush and what was his vice president? The first George Bush is no.
Cheney? Was it Cheney?
No, the first George Bush's vice president.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was his name? Bob Dole? Was that him? No. What was that man's name?
I'm not sure.
He was considered to be really stupid too. So, but no, Cheney was the brains in the second in Bush 2's administration. Everybody agrees on that. But no, the other guy who was the vice president, I think he was in that first administration. Seems like it. Was it Bob Dole? I can't remember who. I can't remember his name.
That sounds familiar. But I got some information for you. Barack Obama's GPA at Columbia, which is an Ivy League school, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1983, was 3.7. Wow, it's out there.
That's good.
But you cannot find Trump's. And my thing is, if you're so doggone smart and you are this genius, why not let us see your GPA? I mean, what's wrong with that? Yeah. And I knew about this from. Huh?
I'm all in favor. Release it, but you can't deny he's made an awful lot of money.
And he's lost a lot of money too.
Well, Mike, that's the problem right now. That's not the all be all right there. You made a lot of money and you stole a lot of money. You cheated a lot of people too. Okay.
That's what politicians do.
He had one guy who was his contractor at the Taj Mahal committed suicide because Trump didn't pay him.
Wow.
Committed suicide.
Wow, that's sad.
Come on, and it's a fact. And many contractors he would not pay. Yeah, he made a lot of money, but see, if you look up the history of him paying people, he does not pay. Do you know he still owed people from his 2016 2015 campaign? He owes cities right now because he will not pay them. Because anytime you go to a city, they have to shell out money for security and things of that nature, venues and things like that, and he refused to pay them. He made a lot of money, but he stole a lot of money.
You're not reporting the whole story. Because somebody owes me money, I'm not going to commit suicide. I'm going to go after you. So if you commit suicide because somebody owes you money, there's another story involved there. There was other issues involved. I guarantee.
How do you know? That's the story that's being reported.
It's
okay.
Well,
I don't know the guy personally.
Let me pose a question to both you and Ann. If somebody owed you guys money, would you commit suicide if they didn't pay you?
No, I would
answer for you. No, you wouldn't.
That's not me, though, Mike.
Involved.
I'm not him. Mike, that doesn't make sense. You cannot take a brush right there and say, well, because you wouldn't do it, you think he would do it? Mike, you don't know.
Yes, I can. I can take a brush and do that. Yeah.
A lot of people,
normal people aren't going to commit suicide because somebody owes me money. They're just not going to do it.
Mike, you cannot tell me
Somebody's
that.
got
You don't know
issues in the head if they commit suicide over that.
Wait a minute. Hold it, Nostradamus. You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
You don't know.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I'm not going to kill myself because somebody else wronged me.
Mike.
Hold on.
I'm not going to kill myself because someone else wronged me.
Mike,
Hold on.
Mike, that's
I think
you.
one thing would help. If we go back and look at the stock market crash when people lost all their money.
Come on now.
Lots of people
That's right.
committed suicide. So
That's
it's not
exactly
to
right.
say that everybody would commit suicide. Some people have and will commit suicide when they lose all their money. So we can't say 100% will do it or 100% won't do it. We do know, historically speaking, that there have been people who have lost the money and committed suicide because of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of that.
That's true, but I believe they had weak minds.
I believe, and
if I
that's
lost
the crux
everything,
of
if I
it.
lost my ranch, if I lost all my investments in William, if I lost everything, I'd grab my ass with both hands and I'd go back to work and I'd build it again. That's a strong mind.
That's Mike Ward. Mike, that's Mike Ward. Everybody's not as strong as Mike.
Special? I'm special all of a sudden? Bullshit. Sorry.
I didn't say all of that.
Well, but God said it. He said you're
Yeah.
fearfully and wonderfully made. So yes, Mike, you are unique. You are special. There's nobody else on this planet like you. So while you may have the fortitude, while you may have the drive, the mind, or as we say in the South, the gumption to get up and do it all over again, there are people on this planet who do not. There are people who literally trust in their money, and without it, they don't know how to get by on this planet. They don't know how to make a living from nothing. For them, it's something that's worth dying over. And that's just the way it is.
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh, Emma has a question. She said, "Hey, I have a question. Anybody seen Trump's wife? Is she still living?" And so then he asked,
gosh.
"Hey,
I think she
Emma,
is. I hadn't heard that she died this week. A lot of other people died, but not
No,
her.
we lost a lot of people, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, we sure did. Now, she got another question. Is Trump married for real?" We haven't seen her, Emma, and we don't know. She's missing it. She's MIA, so we really don't know. But the point is that no, and you that's exactly right. Everybody is unique. Some people are stronger than others. There have been many people that's gone bankrupt or lost every dime. They got back up, pulled themselves up by the bootstraps, and went on and survived. Some people aren't like that, like Ann said, and I remember that story that when that market crashed, I forgot what year that was. I mean, when we had that,
1929,
people were stepping out of buildings, they were committing suicide. So some people are weaker.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's not made the same way. Well, still, that doesn't mean that by him going around cheating a lot of people makes it right. Okay, like they're supposed to get over it or whatever it is, right? So it doesn't make sense that a lot of people really don't know and saw this guy for what he is. And like you said, I mean, I thought you guys caught on the first time, but apparently you didn't. So we had to go through this, live with this. But like I said, to look at and make a comparison between Kamala Harris or President Obama or anything like that, this guy is not even in the same league. It is absolutely crazy. Not even in the same league. And speaking of somebody who can't put two sentences together, have you heard him speak? What was that thing he tweeted out?
Just going along with Kamala's her word salad.
We won this and it was bigly. What is bigly? What does that mean? I mean, this crazy stuff.
On faith.
Or the oranges.
Okay, let's go back to Biden speaking.
Yep, he did have a bad night, and during the debate, he had a really bad night.
Not just one.
He did have some gaffes. But Mike,
he had
you
4
guys
years of babbling, along with Kamala.
I tell you what, he had many. Not Kamala. Kamala never had any gaffes. Come on, man.
She had word salad like you couldn't believe.
You're being disingenuous right now. There's no comparison between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I mean, they are not even in the same ballpark.
I have a fair command of the English language, and the crap that I heard come out of Kamala's mouth was absolute garbage, absolute word salad. I'm sorry, I know you like her.
You didn't know. You may not have agreed with what she said. I don't know why you couldn't. I don't know why you. What I
Because it
certainly
was
understood,
garbage.
and I have a fair command of the English language as
You
well.
do.
And
You do.
and did you understand anything? Did you understand what Kamala Harris was saying when she spoke?
I did, and thank you everybody for tuning in to the Boomerang Radio Show. It's been so good to have you guys here. We hope you come back and join us again next week for another round. And don't forget
Another round.
on Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time to tune in to the Eating as an Active Worship Ministries radio show. We got another great guest lined up for you, and special treat. Revamped Teens Talk Truth radio show. All new hosts, all new topics, but we are still going to be breaking down the things that are going on affecting teens in society today. We got Alex, we got Cameron, we got Wendell, we got London. They are going to come, and these are some awesome kids. You guys don't want to miss it. Don't forget this Saturday, 12 o'clock noon Central Time, right here on Studio W Buzz. Then, got to remember to check out William and Mad Mike when they are chilling and being cool with each other. Wild Will and Mad Mike, coast to coast on Thursdays, right here on Studio W Buzz. And folks, have a blessed week. We love you. We hope you come back and be with us again.
Well done, Judge Ann.
Hey guys,
Thank you.
Judge Ann, thank you. Enjoy your Sunday.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Keep it locked right here on the Buzz. Sunday Night Gold coming up live on the Buzz Studio W Global Radio.